Good day to all our viewers out there. My name is Heinrich Neetling and welcome to Mathematical Literacy. In today's lesson, we'll focus on strip charts and elevation maps. Let us start with our first question. Alright, so question number 1, we are saying here, Elijah is traveling from Durban to Port Elizabeth to visit family. Alongside is the strip route map of Port Elizabeth to Durban. Study it to answer the questions that follow. Alright, now let's focus on the part that says study it in order for you to answer the questions to follow. Alright, so you can see a whole lot of things is happening on this strip route map. So we need to make sense of what is here. Okay, so we are saying that Elijah is traveling from Durban to Port Elizabeth. Now let's find our places of interest. Here I see is Durban, right, and right at the end is Port Elizabeth. Guys, are we clear on that? Also see that the distance indicated between the places is 964 kilometers. What else do I note here? I can see a whole lot of other places, okay, on the strip route map, as well as different national roads and regional roads indicated. Other than that, we also have roads or distances indicated between places on the strip route map. Are we fine? Okay, remember it's always good practice to take our time and look at what is presented. Okay, so let's look at our first question. So question number A says, identify the type of map. Right, so what type of map is this? Right, this is a strip chart. Right, we also refer to this as a strip route map. Okay, strip chart, and I'll put that down. This we sometimes refer to it as a strip route map as well. So that's the type of map that we are dealing with now. Okay, question number B. It says, determine whether Coffee Bay will be on Elijah's left-hand side or his right-hand side as he travels to Port Elizabeth. Right, so Elijah's coming, Durban is traveling in this direction. Okay, so what are we looking for? We are looking for Coffee Bay, right? And what is it that we need to establish? We need to find out is that whether Coffee Bay will be on his left-hand side or his right-hand side as he is traveling towards Port Elizabeth, right? So let's find Coffee Bay. Okay, there's Coffee Bay. We agree, so he will be coming here, on the N2. Right, so the question is, will Coffee Bay be on his right-hand side or on his left-hand side? Okay, so as I'm sitting, it's my right-hand side, but remember now, you must put yourself in Elijah's shoes. He's traveling this way. So therefore, Coffee will be on his left-hand side. Guys, are we clear on that one? So Coffee Bay will be on his left-hand side. Right, next question. Question number C. Determine the general direction of Queenstown from Port Shepstone. Right, general direction. Okay, so I can again see here, north is facing upwards, so true north is here. Okay, there we indicate it. All right, so meaning then, south, east, and west. Right, so now let's find Queenstown. All right, so I'm looking for Queenstown. We agree, yes, Queenstown. And then we must find the other place, Port Shepstone. Here I can see Port Shepstone. Right, so now I'm going to read the question to you again. Determine the general direction of Queenstown from here, Port Shepstone. So we agree that it will be downwards first of all, right? And then it will be to my left as I'm sitting, so to the western side as we are facing the map, right? So therefore, in this case, that will be southwest, right? So Queenstown will be southwest of Port Shepstone. Guys, are we clear on that one? Please note this is also a very popular question. You can almost see it in all the question papers when it gets to maps, plans, and representation of the physical world. So please make sure you understand this one. Right, question number D. List all, right, the national roads located on this strip chart. So we're looking for all the national roads that we can see on the strip chart. Not how many, but we have to list them, right? Right, that's key. We have to list them. So I'll start from the top and I work down to the bottom. So right here on top I see is the N3, right? So I'm going to list N3. Moving down, I see here's the N2. What else do I note? Here I see is the N6. Any other national road? Yes, here, N10. So there we have our national road, and I've listed them as per the instruction, right? So list all the national roads. It's N3, N2, N6, and your N10. Guys, are we fine? All right, let's move on now to question number E. Question number E. Elijah is picking up a friend, right, in his London and dropping him off in Grahamstown. Calculate the distance between these two towns. Right, so Elijah's picking up someone in his London and he's dropping that friend of his in Grahamstown. So we would like to know what is the distance then between East London and Grahamstown. All right, now let's go to our map. First of all, I need to find East London. Right, there's East London. We agree. Okay, then we are saying he's dropping his friend off, so he'll pick him up here in East London and drop him off in Grahamstown. Can you see? Here's Grahamstown. Okay, so what are we saying? He will travel like this. East London, pick him up, move all along, and he'll come here, Kings Williamstown, and he'll drop him off there. Are we clear on that one? All right, let me go back. There we are. So we can first all indicate that from East London to Kings Williamstown, he'll travel 69 kilometers. Are we clear? Then now, from Kings Williamstown, we need to find that distance here between Kings Williamstown and Grahamstown, right? So now I go here and I see, okay, here the distances are indicated. So I need to find the difference there. So 259 minus my 135. So that will give me 124. Can you see? So that indicates this here, the distance here. So this gives me, meaning it's 124 kilometers. Guys, you can even check on this side. It will give you the same, right? If I say 829 minus 705, it should also give you 124 kilometers. So therefore, I'll take my 69 kilometers, that's between East London and Kings Williamstown, plus my 124 kilometers from Kings Williamstown to Grahamstown. So let's quickly add the two amounts together, or two distances, 69 kilometers plus 124 kilometers. So that will give us a total of 193 kilometers. So the distance between East London and Grahamstown, therefore, is 193 kilometers. Are we clear on that one? All right. Guys, let us now look at question number F. Question number F. Right, it says here, Elijah took 8 hours and 45 minutes to travel from Durban to Port Elizabeth. Right? Calculate Elijah's average speed rounded to the nearest kilometers per hour. Right? So he's saying it will take him 8 hours 45 minutes to travel between the two places of interest, that is now Durban to Port Elizabeth. So we need to calculate Elijah's average speed, or the car's average speed he's traveling with, right? Rounded to the nearest kilometer per hour. Then says you may use the formula time equals distance divided by speed. Okay? So here it says calculate his average speed. But now looking at the formula that's presented here, the formula, if I use this one, what will I calculate? Time. And that's not what we need to do. We need to calculate speed. So therefore, I'll manipulate. I will change the subject of the formula by making speed the subject of my formula, right? So speed equals distance divided by my time. Guys, are we clear? So that's the first mark I'll allocate in this case, manipulating or changing the subject of the formula. Step number 2, I'm going to substitute now. Right, so what is the distance? So looking at here, right, indicated here, Port Elizabeth, Durban, that distance is 964. Let me quickly write that proper. So that will be 964 kilometers divided by the time. Okay? So if I look at the time, this is now 8 hours and 45 minutes. Remember, I've indicated to you early on that this formula sees time or interprets it as hours only. So how many hours will 45 minutes be? Right? I agree, that will be 0.75, 0.75 hours, 3/4 of an hour basically, right? So therefore it will be 8.75 hours, right? Why 8.75? Remember, it's the 8 full hours, and that 7.5 represent the 3/4 of the hour, right? The 45 minutes. Guys, are we clear on that? So therefore I'll say 964. So I already substituted, now I'm simplifying. 964 divided by 8.75. That gives me an answer of 110,1714,286. And remember, we are calculating speed, so I say that's kilometers per hour. Are we still fine? So now we'll move to the last part of my question. It says rounded to the nearest kilometer per hour. So meaning it must be a whole number, right? A unit. So therefore, if I'll look at the first digit after the decimal, that's 1. It's less than 5. So therefore, it will remain 110 kilometers per hour. Guys, let me run through this quick, right? First, I changed the subject of the formula because I needed to calculate speed. Right? Speed equals distance divided by time. So I went to my map, strip route map, and I found a distance. It's 964 kilometers between Durban and Port Elizabeth. Then I converted that 45 minutes into hours, right? And that gave me 0.75 hours. I've added it to the 8 full hours. Hence, I've ended with 8.75 hours, right? Step number 3, I simplified by saying 964 kilometers divided by 8.75 hours. And that gave me an answer of 110,1714,286 kilometers per hour since we're calculating speed. Then I went and I looked. Final part of the question indicates here rounded to the nearest kilometer, and therefore I rounded 110,1714,286 to 110 kilometers per hour. All right, let us take a quick advert break. After our break, we'll continue with our lesson. See you now.